WBA Junior Middleweight Championship. Champion Mike McCallum defends his title against former welterweight champion Donald Curry.
Some like it hot, but you can't tell how hot till you try. Some like it hot, so let's turn up the heat till we fry.
They call him the body snatcher. 3 years ago, Mike McCallum destroyed the body of Sean Mannion as he captured the WBA's vacated junior middleweight crown. Undefeated in 31 fights, he has the burning desire and ability to be one of boxing's best. Yet to many, he could be labeled the unknown champion.
Well, as a person, I think I'm a beautiful person. As a fighter, I think I'm rounded, one of the best fighters today.
In our pre-fight profile, we'll introduce you to Jamaica's first world champion as we look at his struggles in and out of the ring.
Some like it hot and some sweat when the heat is on. Some feel the heat and decide that they can't go on.
They call him the Cobra. 19 months ago, Donald Curry had hardly broken a sweat when he struck Milton McCrory in only 2 rounds to become the undisputed welterweight champion. But could he go on after facing his first defeat from an accidental butt 2 fights later? Since that night, the problems have only continued to mount.
I knew the problems that I had. That's why psychologically I feel that I can come back even much stronger, because I knew that that wasn't me.
Can he really come back? We'll see as we examine the problems and solutions of Donald Curry since his fall from champion of the world. So let's turn up the heat as champion Mike McCallum fights for the recognition he's so much desired, while former champion Donald Curry fights to overcome all his problems by winning a new title. We're scheduled for 15 rounds of what has the makings of a hot affair.
Some like it hot.
Scheme of the sport of boxing, this is not the fight of the century, not one for the ages, not even one to bring the high rollers pouring into Las Vegas. The setting isn't grand, but rather intimate. The prize not millions, but thousands. What we do have tonight is 2 champions at the very top of their game, each with something to prove at the other's expense, and that makes for a great night of boxing. And one will have the bonus of wearing a junior middleweight championship belt. As live from Las Vegas, HBO Sports presents a scheduled 15-round battle for the WBA Junior Middleweight Championship between the champion Mike McCallum and the challenger Donald Curry. Well, there's something that can be said for this fight that can't often be said for us as commentators and you out there at home and the 3,000 or so fans who are here at Caesar's Palace, and that is that honestly, you really don't have a clue as to who's going to win the fight. Potentially, this could be a very, very good boxing match. Hello, everybody. I'm Barry Tompkins, along with Sugar Ray Leonard and Larry Merchant. And Ray, let's talk first about Donald Curry. He's a guy who lost a big fight. He lost after people were saying, this guy's terrific, this guy's great, this guy pound for pound is the best boxer ever. What happens to a fighter when he loses a fight like Curry lost to Hunnigan?
Barry, I can relate to that very easily because of a personal experience. My career was going so strong until I faced Roberto Duran in Montreal in 1980. I lost that fight on a mistake because I selected to fight him a different way. It can be quite devastating. For Donald Curry, it was because of distractions, the weight, managerial problems, and other factors. I think here it affects the guy's level of confidence. So Donald Curry, this is a very important fight psychologically, mentally, far more than physically.
Does it seem strange to you, like it does to me, that we're talking so much about Curry and he's the challenger? Mike McCallum is the champion.
I think quite naturally the talk is on Donald Curry because, again, he was considered a guy to be the shining star. So all the focus, all the eyes are on Donald Curry's performance tonight.
Larry Merchant, let's address that fight with Lloyd Hunnigan that Donald Curry lost. How did you see that fight? Did you see a fatal flaw in Donald Curry?
Well, that's what a lot of people are asking, and that's why the shine is off his belt, as they say out west. whether there was just a fatal flaw, whether Hunnigan exposed something in Curry we hadn't seen before, that is, that he couldn't deal with a real aggressive, tough, pressure kind of fight, or whether it was just one of those nights when you lose a fight and that's all and you go on, because even the greatest fighters have lost fights. To his credit, in the last 10 months, Curry hasn't gone into hiding. He's fought 2 respectable junior middleweights coming out of the welterweight division, and now he's fighting the very best junior middleweight in the world. So that tells me something, that Curry wants to put the shine back on the pelt.
Well, what Donald Curry did do in that fight with Lloyd Hunnigan was that he set a lot of exclamations into a lot of questions, and the one that will be answered tonight is he still pound for pound the best. When you used to be called the best fighter pound for pound in boxing and lose that title, who could blame you for running? But Donald Curry isn't running. He's standing tall and facing his problems head on. Last September, Curry stepped into the ring as the undefeated, undisputed welterweight champion against Lloyd Hunnigan. It was in Atlantic City that the walls came tumbling down on the, quote, best fighter in boxing.
There was numbers of distractions that I was going through leading up to the fight. The weight problems, the manager problems, and the loss of one of my family members took its toll on me leading up to that fight, and all that probably it happened to me within a week of the fight.
It didn't help matters that Curry was badly headbutted by Hunnigan, causing a cut that led to a sudden end to the fight.
And new undisputed welterweight champion of the world from London, England, Lloyd Hunnigan.
To regain his status in boxing, Donald Curry was forced to acknowledge the 3 main factors which led to his sudden decline. Problems with headbutts, weight problems, managerial problems. First, the headbutts. The butt that Hunnigan gave Curry was the first in a bizarre series. In Curry's next fight, former sparring partner Tony Montgomery gave Curry a few bumps himself. Apparently desperate after losing the first 4 rounds, Montgomery intentionally butted Curry and was disqualified. Furious, Curry retaliated after the fight. Next was former IBF welterweight champion Carlos Santos. After a fierce battle, he too butted Curry.
I guess Montgomery, even Santos, went back and seen the Hunnigan fight, and he viewed the Montgomery fight and seen that, you know, that Montgomery was doing that, and unconsciously, he didn't go in the ring planning to do that. He went in the ring planning to win when he didn't see that he was going to win, and he was taking a type of punishment that he did. He retaliated with the headbutts.
With his trainer Paul Reyes, Curry is now devising a new strategy which involves more head movement and less fighting flat-footed in the middle of the ring. Curry's second problem was his weight. Struggling to make the 147-pound limit against Hunnigan, Curry had to lose 11 pounds the week before the fight. He did, but lost precious energy. Also, Curry's weight difficulties could be tied to his butting problems. In moving up to 154 pounds to fight Montgomery and Santos, it's possible Curry lost some punching power, and instead of being knocked out, his opponents were able to resort to desperate measures.
I'll look to box now because as a junior middleweight, I'm hitting a bigger guy and I'm putting on extra pounds. So I can't do the same type of things that I did as a welterweight I can with the junior middleweight because I was hitting welterweights and they was falling, and I'm hitting junior middleweights and they are still there.
The third problem Curry has worked on is who will handle his affairs. Dave Gorman managed Donald his whole career, but after the Hunnigan fight, Curry, feeling restricted by Gorman's matchmaking, signed former top-ranked promoter Akbar Muhammad to become his business manager.
I didn't feel comfortable with the people that I had with me because we all had come up together. They didn't know that much about the professional game, and I felt like I could trust Akbar. It's more than just a business relationship. Me and Akbar are good friends.
My concerns is more so beyond what the normal manager does. I don't see myself being in boxing once Donald retires. So my sole interest is just Donald Curry.
Another managerial affair Muhammad is handling is Curry's pending lawsuit against Sugar Ray Leonard and his lawyer, Mike Traynor. Curry claims that in the time before he hired Muhammad, he talked to Leonard and Traynor about his future. They suggested Curry stay a welterweight temporarily and not set up fights with either Mike McCallum or Marvelous Marvin Hagler until Curry had cleared his obligations to promoter Bob Arum. When Sugar Ray announced his fight against Hagler only weeks later, Curry felt slighted. He now claims Leonard and Traynor purposely led him away from Hagler, leaving the door open for themselves.
Did you look very seriously at any other fight?
I thought about Donald Curry, but that was from a personal matter. But
I definitely have a score to settle with Ray also. That's why this fight is so important to me, because I definitely want to get to Ray, because for the things that he done to me, I definitely want to score to get revenge in the ring.